Hi. Oh man, my mask is like off, I think. I'm back. You missed me. Admit it. You missed me. Uh, we're back with part 3. Uh, this one's gonna be a lot shorter. And I'll give some teases as to where the story is gonna go after this. Because this is a heck of a lot shorter. The other two were 2.5 pages. This is a short film. So, backstory for this, if you didn't watch the last video, which I highly recommend you do. Excuse me. Gwen Stacy, Peter Parker's girlfriend, has died. And Peter has hung up the webs and he's decided to not be Spider-Man again. He just can't bear it. It's too much. And instead of doing what they did in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, where it just kind of like a jump cut to a couple months later and Peter just happens to become Spider-Man again, finds it within himself, I guess. I'm not doing that. I wanted to do what they did with Spider-Man Lotus, where they took a whole film, a whole 2-hour movie, to just go into Peter post Gwen's death. And I was honestly contemplating just writing that into the lore as just, here's Spider-Man 2, watch Spider-Man Lotus, then go straight to Spider-Man 3. That doesn't exactly fit with the lore, with what I have written for different characters, character arcs and stuff. So, at the end of the day, it's like, it's probably just easier to write out my own thing. Also, I didn't really want to adapt the Kid Who Collects Spider-Man storyline. I have a bad habit when it comes to that storyline that I can get into at a later date. So, without further ado, let's get into Spider-Man Blue, the Spider-Man story. The name for this is taken from the comic arc, the comic run of Spider-Man Blue, which follows Peter in the future leaving a voice memo to Gwen Stacy, saying basically how much he misses her and that, you know, things have been rough and he wishes she was still here, but she's not. This is the storyline that was adapted for Spider-Man Lotus, and this is how I adapted it. Typically, in the comics, the story comes a lot later, after Peter's married to MJ. She actually overhears this. You can read the articles about it. Without further ado, because I put it off for too long, Spider-Man Blue, a Spider-Man story. We open on flashbacks to Spider-Man 2 when Gwen dies. As her neck snaps, Peter jolts awake in bed. He turns on his desk lamp and grabs the framed picture of him and Gwen from the last movie. On the back is a thumb drive taped to it. Peter takes it and plugs it into his computer, and he sees a compilation of footage from Peter and Gwen's various dates. And he tears up a little. Shows some cute moments between the two of them. Some moments with all 4 of the gang. The clock reads 4 a.m. And Peter, I don't know how they do this in the movie. Peter considers using the suit, but he shakes his head and he gets dressed and he goes to the cemetery at 4 a.m. Yeah. He stands in front of Gwen's headstone and he begins speaking for the first time in this. He talks about how bad the last couple months have been. It's been like 3 months probably. And how much he misses her. Scenery behind Peter shifts to mid-morning as he's monologuing here. And MJ walks up behind him. He tries to talk to him about how distant he's been, how much he misses his company, and how much the city needs Spider-Man at this time. But Peter doesn't listen. He lashes out at her, and before she walks away, she says that Spider-Man needs to come back. The city isn't the same without him. Harry comes to check on Peter later and see that their plans for after high school are set. Harry and Peter plan to move in together as best buds, probably like the Upper West Side. Depends on where ESU is. I don't remember where ESU is. I need to get back in Marvel Spider-Man. Peter again pushes him away, and Harry tells him that if he keeps pushing his friends away, he'll be even more miserable than he was before. As Peter walks down the street, he sees numerous magazines, all wondering the same thing. Where is Spider-Man? Peter reads a few articles at the newsstands, all of them calling him a hero. And he looks at the newspapers, all calling for the wall crawler's arrest. He doesn't see himself as a hero. He sees himself as a villain. He holds himself responsible for Gwen's death. I mean, in the comics, there are various different ways that they are like, yeah, this happened, and this, and this, and this, and reasons. The true reason is he fired the web line, and when it connected, the downward force, when the web line connected, it just stopped her, and that whiplash snapped her neck. And I don't know if you knew this, it's kind of a little hard to live with a neck snap. So Peter's monologue at Gwen's great. Peter's monologue from earlier continues. Talking about how he doesn't see himself as a hero. He blames himself for her death and how everything he's done means nothing in the grand scheme of things. All he sees is the negative. All he sees is the tabloids, the bugle slander, everything you expect to see in a world with Spider-Man. While Peter's at home, MJ comes to talk to him again. She tells him he's a hero, no matter what the media says. Peter lashes out again and tells her to leave. And as she turns to leave, the camera zooms on her hand on the doorknob. She says no and closes the door. This is one of my favorite scenes from the comics, and I have really wanted to adapt it for this. This is the turning point for Peter and MJ's relationship in the comics. Previously, it was like purely platonic. Peter didn't really see her as a love interest. Just the party girl, life of the party, never really more. All that changes here in the comics. And it's actually what sparks Peter's interest in her for later. Peter monologues about needing people to get through loss and how you can't do it on your own. And as he continues talking, images flash of Peter, MJ, and Harry all hanging out and having fun. Peter says he'll never get over her, but he's ready to come back as Spider-Man. And then we cut to Peter swinging over the rooftops while wrapping up his speech. We see Peter standing at Gwen's grave again. He says his senior year is wrapping up, and now he wishes she was here for this. Peter leaves a single rose on her grave as the camera cuts to Peter and Aunt May's house using a tape recorder. You're upset with how she'll always be first in his heart and how Spider-Man will serve in her honor. Just as he's finishing up, MJ walks in and tells him to say hi for her. Peter grabs his jacket, and as he walks into the camera, we see the Spider-Man suit hiding underneath his clothes. He's back, baby. That's the end of Spider-Man Blue. This is just a short film connected into the universe. Much like the Spider Within connects to the Miles Morales universe from Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse. I don't like using a short film to be necessary. It's like using the Marvel TV shows that not everyone can watch as key plot points. It was a lot of people's issues with Multiverse of Madness was that they had to watch WandaVision basically to understand Wanda's whole plot. But I imagine this would just be like if these were to be actual movies, this would either be something to play before Spider-Man 3 or just something posted on YouTube. Although I do like I imagine this be like 10 minutes maybe. And they could probably play this before Spider-Man 3 instead of like some previews and stuff. Much like how there was a little short film before, originally recorded before Pokemon the first movie. But this is kind of all I have so far. I have 2 paragraphs for Spider-Man 3, but I'm going to kind of go over what is generally going to happen with the rest of these films. My treat. Spider-Man 3 is called Spider-Man 3 Mysterio's Menace. Villain is Mysterio. And it's post-high school. Peter and Harry have moved in together. And, Harry and MJ, MJ and Harry split up, and Peter and MJ begin expressing interest in each other. And Quentin Beck is here as Mysterio. He uses his own tech for the first bit, and then Harry is gonna get mad because Peter likes MJ and MJ likes Peter, and neither of them told him or asked his permission as his ex-girlfriend. And he gets a little peeved, and he hires Mysterio to hunt down Spider-Man. And he tells him Peter's identity and gives him some ideas for mental tomfoolery. And he offers Oscorp tech in exchange. And so Mysterio uses his illusions to make Peter doubt himself even more. This all ties back to Spider-Man Blue. Uncle Ben's gonna be showing up again, and What did you get in here? Gwen's also gonna show up as, and they're just gonna be, just chill. Goodness. Special cameo from the cat. They're just gonna make Peter doubt himself even more. And at the end, MJ is gonna be like, I don't want to ever see you again. MJ is gonna come by his house later and give him some encouragement, remind him to focus on what's real, which is, in my opinion, a banger line with this movie. What are you doing? My goodness. Cats, right? What are you doing? You're a psychopath. I'm so sorry. She's insane. Then he'll go into the final fight and defeat Mysterio, and he'll be captured by the police. Should also note, Miles is going to appear in this movie, working at Feast. Team Peter are gonna have bonded. And Miles is going to get the spider bite in this film. And there are actually 2 credit scenes for this. There's the mid-credit scene, which is going to be Peter and Miles, Peter and Miles beginning the spider training. And the post-credit scene is going to be, I imagine, as God of Stories Loki showing up and recruiting Peter for a secret war off the books. If you're a fan of Marvel Comics, you'll know this is Secret Wars, a very integral point of the comics and very key to Spider-Man's storyline. So after Spider-Man 3, we move to Spider-Man Miles Morales, which takes place, I mean, I might cut God of Stories Loki here because for Spider-Man 3, I'm moving instead of Spider-Man to Spider-Man Miles Morales, which is the next movie, because I need Miles to get some spider training in, and because the plot of this is going to be, the general idea is going to be similar to that of Spider-Man Miles Morales, where Peter goes out of town to Battleworld and Miles is left in charge of the city. I don't have anything really worked out for this. I want to work in one of my another villain here. Maybe set up Alistair Smythe to be the human Spider Slayer, as he is, or one of the other people I want to include in my Sinister Six roster. I should also mention Otto Octavius is in Spider-Man 3, and he gives Peter a new suit. And so, you know, it's something. He gives Peter the design for a new suit, much like in Marvel Spider-Man. And I'll talk about my Sinister Six roster when I get there. So, at the end of... My goodness! I am so sorry. She is trying to kill me, I think. Oh, goodness! She's fine. Don't worry. She's done much worse than roll off the chair. She has rolled off the bed many times. She's insane. So, at the end of Spider-Man Miles Morales, Peter comes back, and I imagine this will be like a post-credit scene. Peter comes back, and he's got the symbiote suit. Because, yeah, I'm not doing a dedicated Secret Wars movie. I'm sorry. I don't know a whole lot about the story arc. And it's just easier for me to establish the symbiote suit. So then that'll take us to Spider-Man 4, Rise of the Sinister Six. In this movie, Peter is going to be using the symbiote suit. So, just for the fans, I'll start with a couple flashbacks to what happened in the what happened during Secret Wars. Peter getting a symbiote suit, meeting characters like Reed Richards, and maybe for the fans, throw on a Captain America. Or some other heroes. It's important, though, that he meets Fantastic Four. So, in this movie, Miles is Spider-Man now, Peter and MJ are dating now, and Peter's got a new suit, and he's liking it. I don't have a whole lot planned out for this right now, but the point is going to be Ock is going to villainize, and he's going to get his arms. And my Sinister Six roster is presently Electro, Alistair Smythe, either as Robot Spider Slayers or as the Human Spider Slayer, Mysterio, Ock, and then I wanted to do, I think, Vulture, and then Rhino, I think that's what I wanted to do. I don't remember who my sixth member was. It was someone. And by the power of the symbiote suit, Peter's going to defeat them. He's going to struggle because, he's fighting his mentor, his friend, Dr. Otto Octavius. And maybe during the fight, Peter starts to lose a little bit of control with the symbiote suit. This will set him up for Spider-Man 5, which is presently untitled. But I'm thinking Let There Be Venom, because it's a great title. And as you can probably tell from what I just said about Spider-Man 4 and the title, yeah, Venom's going to be showing up. Peter's going to start losing control with the symbiote suit. I'm thinking in Spider-Man 4, he's going to get it analyzed. In this movie, in Spider-Man 5, he's going to get it analyzed by Reed Richards, and he's going to find out that it's an alien symbiote. And it feeds off the negative emotions and actually amplifies them. So, Peter's going to go through a similar arc to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3. Probably not. Maybe reference the iconic Bully Maguire dance, and then, he's gonna lose the symbiote. If I wanted to be funny, I could recreate the scene from Spider-Man the Animated Series where he's yelling, "Shocker! I'll chase you to the ends of the earth." But in the end, he and Miles are gonna fight Venom. Then Spider-Man 6. I have a lot of ideas I want to do with this, and then I did research into them, and then I was like, okay. My original idea was to do Venom War, which I did research into and realized that that's a brand new comic run. So, not really a whole lot I can go off with that. And also, it's like Peter's back in the symbiote suit. I haven't kept up on modern comics. I haven't read older comics. And then I thought, okay, do Maximum Venom. That is a specific arc designed for a TV show, not a movie, not a comic. And it's really confusing and short. I read the Wikipedia article. There was like nothing. I was like, so that shows how many people watched that show. I think it was the first Disney XD Spider-Man show. All I know is, no, it was the second one. Because the first one was, I don't know. So then my fallback option, my ultimate fallback option, is to just do Carnage and then do steal the name from the comic run in the video game, Maximum Carnage. Because that's what I did with Mysterio's Menaces. I stole the video game title. And looking at the time, that, goodness gracious, excuse me, that's probably where I'm going to end this for today. I'll let you know when Spider-Man 3 is done. I'll do another one of these. Part 4. To be continued. If you enjoyed, please let me know in the comments. If you have any ideas for what I can do, again, let me know in the comments. My creativity has been running low as of recent, and summer's gonna be over by the time I post this, but it's summer's coming to an end, and I'm just trying to make it through the last week. School starts in a week for me, so yeah, just let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.